So we are 2 weeks into the launch of Marvel Rivals, and already we're seeing a narrative form around the meta in terms of who the best characters are, not to mention the 10,000 tier list floating around. If you play the game enough, you'll also notice which heroes get more play than others. Naturally, all this, plus the fact that the game is still new, has led to some characters that are extremely powerful flying under the radar or outright being dismissed as bad due to people simply not seeing them played personally or properly. So I'm going to give you 5 characters in Marvel Rivals that I think are secretly extremely powerful and not getting enough attention. Learning how to play them could potentially give you and your team a big advantage. First, if you appreciate these Marvel Rivals breakdowns, hit the like button so YouTube will share it with other players, or leave a dislike if it wasn't helpful at all. The first hero I want to talk about is Namor.
But my enemies call me Namor.
After putting around 100 hours into the Marvel Rivals closed beta, I found that I spent the most time and had the best games while playing Namor, but a lot of people were still sleeping on him. It's gotten worse with the full release after we've gotten a bunch of new and flashy duelists like Psylocke and Winter Soldier, who are also top tier. But Namor is still an incredibly powerful duelist, and a good Namor can be really tough to deal with. Namor's kit is pretty simple but very powerful. You can summon 2 squid turrets and place them anywhere, and they will automatically shoot at enemies. They have pretty crazy range, being able to hit enemies from 40 meters away, so don't be afraid to place them further from the action at all 4 high angles rather than making them easy to target by placing them next to Namor. His normal attack, Trident of Neptune, does way more damage than you would expect. It's actually the same as Hela's, who is considered by far to be the strongest duelist in Marvel Rivals, but unlike Hela, Namor gets infinite ammo. This gets even stronger with his Wrath of the Seven Seas ability, which is a Trident throw that causes his squid turrets, the monstro spawn, to all fire on the nearest enemy with increased attack speed. This is particularly strong when Namor or a healer on your team is being targeted by a melee character such as Spider-Man or Iron Fist. He also has Blessings of the Deep, which lets him fly high into the air and create a barrier around himself that makes him immune to all damage. You can also move the barrier close to your teammates since you can still be healed while inside it. A good trick is to use the barrier to reach higher ground so you can place your turrets in harder to reach spots. Namor can slow fall if he gets high enough, so this allows him to get better angles on headshots or turret placements. Namor gets even better if you have Luna Snow on your team, which pretty much every competitive team will be running. Luna gives him access to an extra turret that fires cold shots, slowing enemies on hit. His ultimate, Horn of Proteus, is also disruptive. It does the most damage to anyone in the center of the blast radius, but the most important thing it does is disable the movement abilities of the other team. Don't be afraid to throw this out when you have it, especially if enemies are grouped up. Having a Namor on the back line protecting healers can put a lot of pressure on the enemy team, and I highly suggest giving him a shot. The next character I want to talk about is a strategist, which is the most important role in the game, and one that unfortunately most people so far don't want to play. Outside of Namor, I put the most time in the beta playing Loki, who is extremely underrated. When I first saw his abilities before anyone could play Rivals yet, I thought he was clearly the most overpowered character. It surprised me when he got relatively little play, but after trying him, it makes sense. Other strategists are much simpler to learn, whereas Loki has a lot going on and a fairly high skill ceiling, but he's worth learning. His kit can do literally anything. He has Psylocke's invisibility, which gives him a small movement boost, but unlike Psylocke, this one heals him and doesn't run out. You can stay invisible unless you get hit. Going invisible also leaves behind a Loki clone in your place. Like Luna, his normal attack damages the enemy and heals allies depending on who gets hit with it. He can also summon and place up to 2 clones anywhere within range, whether on top of a balcony or behind an enemy. These clones will copy you when you fire your attack, shooting at whatever you're targeting. You can even swap places with them, adding even more depth and complexity to his kit. Having 3 Lokis shooting can give you a huge boost in both damage and healing. His most oppressive skill is Regeneration Domain, which summons a lantern. While standing inside the energy field, any damage you take is converted into healing, so the enemy has to destroy the lantern first. If you have Loki clones out, they will also summon the lanterns, which is a really strong combo. But what makes Loki truly broken is his ultimate. It allows you to literally copy any character on the field, and you can immediately use their ultimate. This is where the high skill ceiling comes in. You not only have to know what everyone's ultimate does, but you also have to decide which would be the best character to switch to in the moment. There's essentially nothing anyone can do to stop you. Go invisible and decide who you want to copy. In general, you can never go wrong with stealing Luna Snow's ability because she arguably has the best ultimate in the game, making your team nearly immortal for for 9 seconds. Having your own Luna use her ult, then copying her and doing it again can straight up win you the game. Speaking of top tier characters, he has a really strong team up with Hela, the most played character in top ranks. She grants him bonus health or can immediately revive him whenever she finishes off an enemy. He's tricky, but Loki is absolutely worth the time investment to learn. For the third character, I have to talk about Penny Parker, a Vanguard. Penny was considered by many to be a terrible character during the beta, but I ended up trying her for myself because of how much my friend Miller Ross loved playing her, and I found out she's actually really strong when used correctly. Since the beta, the devs made her even stronger, yet Penny remains pretty underrated. She is all about the cybernetic webs. What most people know about Penny is that she summons a spider-bot machine that spreads the cyberwebs around the arena. It also produces mines, which Penny can summon herself, and they will be hidden while inside the webs. When Penny stands on the webs, she gains a boost in movement speed and gets healing over time, which converts to bonus health, giving her potentially 800 HP. She has a movement skill called Cyber Bond, which attaches a web to a surface you can target and pull Penny toward it. It's important to remember that Penny doesn't just need her spider-bot machine. Any web you stand on gives her the bonuses. You can use Cyber Bond on the floor and then stand on it for a bonus as well. You can also shoot at your opponent's feet and drop mines under them. Her arguably most disruptive skill is the Cyber Web Snare, which fires off a web that will wrap up any enemy it hits for 0.7 seconds. This can be an amazing way to disrupt the enemy. You can stop a charging Iron Fist, knock Iron Man out of the air, or stop Scarlet Witch from using her ultimate. It also has an extremely fast 3-second cooldown, so it's something you can use constantly. Her ultimate is a bit of a meme if you use it wrong. Penny runs around getting a big movement boost while spreading cybernetic webs. You can knock enemies back or drop mines. You mainly want to use this when the enemy is close to you, like when you're contesting a point or getting dived, to boost Penny's health, which can reach over 1000 HP with this skill, and trigger a bunch of explosions, which can take out non-vanguards pretty easily. Don't use this to run into the enemy backline. They will delete you, especially if Hawkeye is there. Also, don't put your spider-bot machine out in the open where it's easy to shoot at. Penny is at her most annoying when she's holding down a territory while peeking in and out of cover, and nobody with range can reach the machine, so they have to come into melee range, which is where Penny is strongest. Her team up with Venom isn't great, but the symbiote attack can be a nice extra weapon to have when defending from enemy dives. Plus, it gives her more defense. Definitely don't sleep on this character. She can win you games, especially if the other team doesn't know how to play against her. The next character is already considered good, but he's actually great. Adam Warlock. Adam is a S tier healer, but I've seen him placed as low as B tier. I think this is from a combination of people not fully understanding him and probably situations where he didn't really get to show what he can do because the overall team just wasn't good. Playing against Adam can feel so oppressive because not only does he heal a ton, but he also has damage reduction, which can make it feel like none of the damage you're doing amounts to anything. His normal heal, Avatar Lifestream, locks onto an ally without you needing to aim and heals both them and Adam. If there's no ally, it heals himself. His other healing skill, Soul Bond, is crazy. It links Adam with his allies, giving them healing over time and allowing them to share the damage they take among them for 6 seconds. If Adam takes fatal damage while this is active, the bond breaks, but Adam remains alive at 1 HP, which you can then fix by healing himself with Lifestream. He can also do a lot of damage. His normal fire has 15 ammo and does 55 damage per shot, but he has an ability called Cosmic Cluster, which fires at 38 damage per hit. You can fully charge it to shoot a volley of up to 5 projectiles at the same time. You can use this whenever you want. It only consumes ammo. Adam can melt through enemies with this skill, especially if they aren't a Vanguard and if you land headshots. His ultimate can be game changing. It revives all allies within range at low health, but grants them brief invincibility when they spawn in, giving Adam the chance to heal them. For the next 10 seconds, if an ally goes down while in its range, they get revived again. Just make sure you're behind cover when activating it if possible. You'll want to revive your team just to watch them get deleted. The range is based on Adam's position, so activate it behind cover, then move Adam near the bodies. Adam also has a passive that revives him if you manage to take him down. He becomes a soul that you can freely move around and then spawn back in at full health. This was given a buff, so its cooldown is now 106 seconds. He can also share this same ability with both Star-Lord and Mantis, which gives him a ton of value since Mantis is considered by many top players to be the best overall character in the entire game. Having her as a healer alongside Adam is a devastating devastating combo. Last, but certainly not least, is magic. Understandably, people are raving about Iron Fist, Venom, or Spider-Man when it comes to dives they hate seeing. But magic can be a straight up menace if you play her properly. She's a melee-based fighter with a powerful ranged attack and the ability to teleport. Her normal attack is a Soul Sword, which is a melee attack that does an impressive 65 damage per hit and has decent range. Her stepping disc lets her teleport in any direction by stepping through a portal, which gives her invincibility. You get 2 charges with a 6-second cooldown, and when she comes out of it, you have access to 2 abilities: Eldritch Whirl and AoE Sword Swing, where she spins around, great for hitting enemies trying to run, and Demon's Rage, which summons a Limbo Demon to attack wherever you place it. The demon is especially useful if you're using the portal to escape an attack. Magic has a team-up ability with Black Panther and Psylocke, which lets them use the disc to teleport back to a previous spot, which can be a useful way for them to get out of danger. She also has some sustain. Her passive converts the damage she does into health, rewarding you for being aggressive. Her Umbral Incursion is a strong melee dash attack that launches the enemy into the air, doing 85 damage, but you can also use it to escape or reach high ground. Combine that with Magic Slash, a ranged attack you can charge for 2 seconds to deal up to 90 damage, and you can delete enemies, especially duelists and healers, by putting it into a combo. Sneak behind the back line and target a healer with Magic Slash, into Stepping Disc, into Umbral Incursion with a melee hit, and they are gone. Use the portal to escape if needed. Her ultimate, Dark Child, turns her into a demon for 12 seconds, enhancing all of Magic's standard abilities. The most devastating upgrade is for Eldritch Whirl, allowing you to spam it and deal big damage to everyone trying to run away without them being able to hit you. A good magic can straight up prevent the opposing team's healers from playing the game, and I highly suggest you check her out. Marvel Rivals has a very bright future, and they just dropped their biggest update ever. Click the video on screen to learn more.